Okay, reaction time. They announced who is going to be the voice actress for Sailor Cosmos. So, a lot of people, both in Japanese and the English version, are kind of maybe the English fans aren't as upset about this, but the Japanese fans. I was just watching the live stream they did about an hour ago, where they officially announced it. I saw this trailer first. If you want to see it, I will put a link in the description or in a comment below somewhere, so you can take a look at it yourself. It's on Sailor Moon Official. Um, it's Kitagawa Keiko. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was a Sailor Moon live action TV series a long, long time ago. She played Sailor Mars. She then, after that, became a pretty big famous, actress, like regular movie actress in Japan. And they decided to use her for Sailor Cosmos. Okay. Um, Now, I want to state this outright. I'm not a fan of Kitagawa Keiko as an actress or whatever. I have no interest in her whatsoever. However, her voice kind of fits with Sailor Cosmos. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sailor Cosmos is Sailor Moon from the very, 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 very far away future. And she comes back to because she has to fight Sailor Chaos. And she ends up running away. This is all in the comics, so if you want to know this, it's all in the comics. And she got tired of fighting. And so she goes back in the past is to hide herself as Chibi Chibi and kind of watches everything that happens to Sailor Moon against Sailor Galaxia. And then she realizes, okay, I made the right decision at the time. When you see the last couple scenes of the the comics before everybody comes back to life and whatnot, um, Sailor Cosmos explains her situation to the Sailor Quartet, the Amazonas Quartet, right? Because they're the only ones left. Everybody else is dead. um, but considering how far in the future away Sailor Cosmos is from Sailor Moon, the fact that her voice has become more mature and sounds like an adult versus, like sounds more like Queen Serenity than it does, Tsukino Sagi as a teenager, right? Um, I'm not against this decision. I understand why they did it. There's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna complain about it because, oh no, it's not Mitsuishi-san, blah, blah, blah. It's a Mitsuishi-san, blah 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 blah. Well, I even from somebody who doesn't care at all about Kitagawa Keiko as a person or as an actress or whatever, I couldn't give a damn about her. But if you watch the from the Sailor Moon official channel, if you watch the trailer and you compare like her voice to Mitsuishi's voice, people are complaining we want a Mitsuishi on Mitsuishi, blah 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 blah. I understand. I wish it was Mitsuishi-san too, but I like watching when they announced Kitagawa Keiko to come down, and in this live stream they did an hour ago or a couple hours ago, um, she was so nervous. Like, because she knows there's going to be so many fans who are going to just, pile on her because she's doing the voice and it's not Mitsuishi-san doing the voice. I feel bad for her because, she's going to be she's put in this position where people have this idea in their head that it has to be this person, and then, oh no, it's not this person. And it, like, coming from the fact that I think that the fact they changed almost all the voice actresses from the original 90s show for this time, I mean, outside of Sailor Starfighter, because they had no choice with that one. But the fact they changed everybody out, I was mad at that from the beginning. But, that's because, all of the voice actors and voice actresses who were in the original 90s show are all extremely famous. Originally, the voice actor for Chiba Mamoru was Furuya Toru, who's Amuro from Gundam, okay? Luna's original voice actress was, I believe it was Lala Soon from Gundam, okay? And then Ogata Megumi, who is, famous for doing Ikari Shinji in Evangelion now. I mean, and then you had, what's-her-face who did Sailor Saturn's voice, who's famous from Dragon Ball doing, what's-her-face? Gohan's girlfriend who becomes his wife, and then also Pang. Bideru and Pang. She does both the voices. These are, like, expensive voice actors to hire, right? For something like this. So, I wasn't happy with it, but I knew it was all about cutting costs. Now, do I like the voice actresses for their own portrayals of these characters? They're fine. I think the woman who did Sailor Mars did a much better job than the old Mars, because Mars doesn't care about men in the comics, and they turned her into this like girl who wants to get with the guy who's kind of helping at the shrine or whatever. All this stuff in the old TV series. But she was originally a very soft-spoken character, and I think that the voice actress for Mars and Crystal actually did a good job for the character that she was given and the character she had to portray. Okay? This is why I think Kitagawa Keiko is going to be good for Sailor Cosmos. Because think of Sailor Cosmos' position in the Sailor Moon universe. She's from far in the future. She's seen her friends die multiple times. She's had to bring them back to life. She's had to save people multiple times. Sailor Moon has gone through, Tsukino Usagi has gone through so much trauma in all that time that, of course, she's going to be jaded. She's not going to have the desire to fight anymore because she doesn't want to see her friends getting hurt anymore. This is why I think Kitagawa Keiko's voice and the way that she portrays it, watch it yourself. I'm not going to play it because I don't want them to complain about any strikes or anything. I'll just do the background picture from the video here. I think that she brings in the atmosphere of Sailor Cosmos. We understand that Sailor Cosmos is the future Sailor Moon. The far, far, far away future of Sailor Moon. But we have to understand that in that time, she's grown and matured as a person and has seen a lot more things happen that she didn't want to have happened to her. And she's seen so many traumatic events that I think as much as Mitsuhi-san is like Sailor Moon and she's it, and she would portray it just fine, I think there's a different atmosphere that needs to be put around the character of Sailor Cosmos, which is, I think, them using Kitagawa Keiko for that role was a good idea. Fans of the live action show are going to be happy because they'll get to see Sailor Mars again, or get to see Sailor Mars portray Sailor Cosmos. And it'll connect, like the younger voice actors, like Mizuki Nana doing Kakuhime and stuff like that, and the current, Sailor Starfighter voice actress as well. And they're younger than like Hayashi Baramegumi or Kitagawa Keiko or any of these other people, they will, they're fans, right? So there's like a bringing together of the entire, Sailor Moon family from all different versions. So you have, Mitsuishi from the original, you have, Kitagawa Keiko from, live action, and then you have this new generation of voice actresses and the voice actor, what was it, Nojima Kenji, I think it was, who does Tuxedo Kamen and stuff like that. So I think it's a good way to incorporate that. I know people are going to hate it, and I know people are going to complain about it, but I'm not going to. And I don't want people to. I want people to take it for what it is and, understand the situation and think back to the story. Because when I read the comics the first time and I was looking at Sailor Cosmos, I wasn't thinking of Tsukino Usagi's voice. I can remember vividly. It was someone who had been through a lot, someone who was traumatized, someone who had lost the will to fight, who was just done. And there has to be a certain sadness and, loneliness in the voice. And I think Sailor Moon, while Mitsushi portrays that very well in Sailor Moon Cosmos in general, I think that adding a different person to play that character does add something to the character. Because we don't get Cosmos for very long. We get Cosmos for like maybe, what is it? I think in the comics it's like 10 pages at most. And and she doesn't talk that much. So, but considering the position she's in, the position that character is in, I think that having somebody else portray it, as much as I'm sure everybody would like it to be Mitsuishi-san, the fact that it's not, people shouldn't get all up and riot about it. Now, I mentioned a comment in my review video about, I replied to a comment in my review video about how I disagree completely with the way that they used people who had nothing to do with Sailor Moon in Eternal. The voice actresses for Zirconia and Nehelenia, which I remember the voice now, remember the character's name now. I thought that, and I mentioned it in the video as well, I thought they were cast horribly in Eternal. So the fact that they're bringing somebody who's actually connected to the franchise is better than just them grabbing some rando person off the street and just because they have a famous name, throwing them in the movie to get people to come see the movie. I think this is better for the movie than, pulling Nanao into the movie who had nothing to do with Sailor Moon. That's just me, though. But I wanted to react to this. It just happened a little bit ago. I wanted to talk about it because I know people are going to complain about it, and I wanted to get out in front of those complaints. I'll probably do a Japanese version of this video because I want to talk about it in Japanese as well. But I wanted to talk about it in English first because a lot of people have been watching my review video, which I'm very happy about. and I wanted to kind of push that forward a little bit so I could explain my perspective of the situation, and for people who don't even understand Japanese but who have like read the comics or found ways to read the comics or whatever, to understand the character a little bit and to think about it in a different light. So I'm just putting it out there, and we can discuss it in the comments. You discuss in the comments, we'll go for it. And as people know, I reply to my comments, so you don't have to worry. You can just, plop in there, and I will and I'll respond to comments when I get the chance to. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that right now because I thought that it just happened, and I'm sure that people are not going to be very happy about it. So I wanted to give a different perspective of the issue. So anyway, that'll be all for this one, and I'll be talking about other stuff soon. I haven't decided what I'm going to do next, but we'll see. I'll probably do this in Japanese because I know tons of Japanese fans are going to be complaining about it. So I'm going to do a Japanese version of this video. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, but I'll probably do it soon. But anyway, that'll be all for this one.